We were very happy because they all got here yesterday, Sunday afternoon, in good shape. They ate up last night, and we took everybody out just for a little jog this morning. So it was just kind of a leg stretcher type of day. They all had workouts on Saturday, so this was just to get them over the track, and they all went out there and went over the track really nicely.
John, can you talk about his progression accelerates, where he was a nice 3-year-old, ran big in the dirt mile. He was a nice 4-year-old. Then his only bad race was the dirt mile, and then now he's this monster.
Yeah, well, last year he came out of the Breeders' Cup dirt mile with a quarter crack, so he was kind of injured in that race. We found out after the race. But since then, you know, he's just had a beautiful year. He's just a really healthy, strong guy. As a 5-year-old, he's been able to kind of come out of those classic races in good shape physically and continue to train right on. So it's been a great year for him. We're really proud of him.
I remember last year there was maybe some question of could he get the mile and the quarter. Fast forward, I said we're at this point, 3 of his Grade 1 wins have come over the 10 furlong distance. Yeah,
he's definitely, I think as he's a year older, the distance this is his best distance now, is a mile and a quarter. So he's just, like I said, he's had a great year and he looks great. So we're really looking forward to this weekend.
You've been a California guy for forever, and put in perspective him sweeping all that. I guess all the Grade 1s.
Yeah, I mean, he won all the Grade 1s, and, you know, because it's so, I mean, if you think about the horses, I think there's only 3 that have ever done it. One was California Chrome. I think the other one was Game On Dude. And they're great horses. This is a great horse. He showed it this year. You know, every time you run in one of those races, you beat a Baffert horse. So he's run against about 40 different Baffert horses. So him being in there with 2 or 3 on Saturday, he'll just feel like being at home.
He's a neck away from being unbeaten, like I said. He's got 4 Grade 1s, and yet the narrative this year, people are talking about this classic like it's wide open. Where do you feel like the lack of respect for him is kind of coming from? Oh,
you know, there's good, when you get to this level, there's good horses in the classic, no doubt. So we respect everybody, and they've got really good horses on the East Coast also. So, but he's had a special year, and his buyers are great. So, you know, I'm not worried about that.
You also have Catalina Cruiser, who, what can you say, he's 4 for 4. And, you know, same owners. Can you talk about how, since it's the same owner, how it's maybe changed where you run Catalina Cruiser?
Yeah, kind of some people were kind of clamoring that they'd love to see Catalina Cruiser in the big race. And we decided kind of early on in the year that Accelerate would go in the Classic. So we kept Catalina Cruiser for the dirt mile. Even though he won the San Diego at a mile and a 16th. We look to use him next year to kind of stretch out in these races that Accelerate was in this year.
Was there a race this year that told you Accelerate had blossomed into the big horse that you kind of hoped he would be?
Yeah, I think it was probably the Santa Anita Handicap. It's such an iconic race, and a race I've always wanted to win as a Southern California guy, to win the Santa Anita Handicap with its history. I think that was, you know, a really important win for him. And he won easy, and he showed he could handle an off track in case we get one this weekend.
How talented do you see this field this year overall?
Good. I mean, I run with some of the horses. I know them well. West Coast is very good. Bob Baffert, obviously. McKenzie is a very nice horse. Another one from California, very good. And it's interesting, you know, you've got the European horse coming in, trying dirt. That's obviously a top horse. So it's, you know, Gosden was actually started off in California. So, you know, it looks like an interesting group.
Safe to say with these, I mean, do you feel like these are probably 2 of your strongest horses that you've ever brought into a Breeders' Cup program?
I think so, definitely. I mean, you know, the other thing they were teasing me about, you know, you feel extra pressure this year. I said, pressure's when you're 40 to 1. when you're down there where you're 5 to 2 or 3 to 1 or something like that, that's good pressure. So we're happy, and I'm in a great mood this morning because the horses traveled so well.
I know the Breeders' Cup Day, I said we like to kind of bring that up and harp on it. When you evaluate, I said, some of the horses that you've brought in the past, I mean, do you see, I said, Stellar wins the next from the end there. Do you see a lot of places where, you guys, have some really, really good efforts, and maybe your record is better than you're being given credit for?
Well, I mean, you see a lot of my horses were second and thirds. Switch was second. Costa Freedom was third. Stellar Wind was second in a DQ. So we've taken a lot of horses to the Breeders' Cup, which speaks to our program of developing horses. The fact that we're here a lot means we're getting young horses and we're developing into stakes winners. And so it's good that we're here a lot, and we've run a lot of really good races. And like I said, it'll be what it'll be, but we're excited.
The horses that are running in the Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, well, we've got Catapult in the Turf Mile. He won 2 stakes at Del Mar. He won the Eddie Reed in the Del Mar Mile. Really with good efforts. He's a horse that came from back east and blossomed in California. So he's a really nice horse. And some of the horses he's been running with, you saw how well the Baltus horse did in Kentucky, won the Shadwell. We beat him twice at Del Mar. So Catapult's a nice turf miler. And then we've got Selcourt in the Filly and Mare Sprint, and she won her last 3. Now she's coming off like a 6-month layup. She had a little ankle issues. We had to give her some time off, but she's training up well for this and runs well fresh. And she's got a very good record also.
Costa really gives you so much credit for, not just the results that you've provided, but really teaching him and his brother, as he puts it, really guiding them throughout the industry. How did your relationship with them sort of come about?
This was really, an usher at Santa Anita introduced us. And we started, with them with one claiming horse, and it just grew from there.